There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of misconceptions going around right now with regards to Kuro Games and Tencent's recent acquisition of a majority stake within the company. I've been seeing threads all across Reddit, threads all across Twitter, social media, with people claiming that after this acquisition, Tencent is going to change the trajectory of the game. They're going to start, for whatever reason, pushing out a certain kind of content, censoring things, and that the Kuro Games that we know that has been giving us Punishing Grey Raven and Wuthering Waves up until this point is no more. Are they right? Are they talking out of their ass? I guess let's go ahead, jump in right now and find out. Although I'm gonna assume here they're talking out their ass. People, for whatever reason, love to hate on Kuro, even in spite of everything they have done for us as players and the genre, but that's another topic. Tencent acquires majority stake in Kuro Games. Tencent has acquired approximately 37% of the shares of Wuthering Waves developer Kuro Games from Hero Entertainment and now holds a 51.4% controlling stake in the company. Tencent is now also the only external shareholder of Kuro Games. And this is where speculation comes into play. People are assuming now that they hold the controlling stake in the company, 51.4% specifically, they are suddenly going to reign control from Kuro and alter the future, the trajectory, for whatever reason, even though Tencent has a majority stake in a lot of different studios. The studio that gives us League of Legends, Valorant, the studio that gives us Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2, those are just to name a few. Kuro did actually issue a public statement to address this. The public statement was in Chinese, however, I went over to Google Translate, I ran the entire thing through it. Hello, fellow Kuro students. First of all, I'd like to share with you one thing. Recently, our two external shareholders, Tencent and Hero Entertainment, reached an equity transaction. After the completion of this transaction, Hero Entertainment will no longer hold shares in Kuro, and Tencent will become Kuro's only external shareholder. Hero Entertainment has provided support and assistance to Kuro at important points in its development since mid-2018. Tencent has also made significant investments in Kuro's key points since the beginning of 2023. In the past cooperation, they have been very supportive of Kuro's strategy and are our very good shareholders. Secondly, as an important change after the completion of this transaction, Tencent's shareholding in Kuro will reach about 51.4%, exceeding the shares held by the team. However, from the beginning of this transaction, we have received Tencent's guarantee. Kuro's independent operation strategy will not change, and Tencent will also use Riot and Supercell as a model for future cooperation with us. This is a direct confirmation from Kuro Games themselves, stating verbatim, this cannot be argued. From the beginning of the transaction process, Tencent guaranteed that they would treat Kuro Games the same way they treat Riot Games. Once again, the team that gives us League of Legends, Valorant, and Supercell. There is going to be no meddling. There is going to be no alteration of how Kuro go about developing their game, how they reward us, their content frequency. There's going to be no censorship. They're not going to change business model and become significantly more predatory. No. Tencent have given them a personal guarantee that nothing at all will change. I genuinely, honestly do not know how much more you need than this direct confirmation, but there is more. Before we go any further, let me take a moment here to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are phenomenal, and I can't thank you all enough for the support. Now let's keep talking. In the past few months, Tencent has actively communicated with us and reached agreements with us on key issues. So there were issues originally, which means Kuro probably had concerns that Tencent have squashed. They have come to an agreement with to give Kuro all the freedom that they need to continue to develop the game to their standards. In addition to our past experience of cooperating with Tencent, we firmly believe that after this external shareholder change, Kuro will have a more stable external environment, which will be more conducive to our future long-term development strategy of independent operations. What they're saying here is Tencent are going to fund us. They're going to provide us more funding for our games, Punishing Gray Raven, Wuthering Waves, and they are not going to do anything at all to alter how we approach the development of our games. All in all, they're literally just funding them. They're increasing the amount of money they're putting into them. This will only benefit us as players. This means that we are probably going to get even higher quality patches, higher quality content. Maybe they'll hire more staff members, who knows? Over the past decade, our original intention to make games has never changed. In the next decade, we will not change. We will continue to love our players, our games, and our team. I mean, come on, like that comment right there, that final paragraph, those 2 sentences, they define Kuro Games. Over the past decade, our original intention to make games has never changed. They fully plan on being here for the next decade. This is a dev team that is confident in their product and in their ability to produce quality content. We will continue to love our players, which they have shown time and time again. They are generous, they are rewarding, they continue to make changes to the game for us. This is a dev team that truly, genuinely cares about their game and their players, because at the end of the day, without players, there is no game. Without a game, there is no company. That is what studios seem to forget. At the end of the day, the more rewarding you are, the friendlier you are, the more you appreciate the time investment from your players, the more you will benefit as a company, the more money you will earn, because players will want to invest more time, invest more money into their games. This has never been more apparent than the last couple months. The last month alone, the month of November, saw Wuthering Waves breach the top 10 in terms of revenue on the Apple App Chart in Japan and China. Wuthering Waves hasn't hit those numbers since like way back with Yinland. This game is doing phenomenally. This right here, this merger, this acquisition, all it is going to do is provide Kuro more funding to produce better quality content with no meddling from Tencent at all. But it does promise them a more stable future, which I think is a good thing for not only them, but for us. I genuinely appreciate the fact that they decided to make this statement public, because honestly, if Tencent was going to make alterations to the game or force them to make alterations to the game, they wouldn't be able to state this. Tencent would be pissed. They would be livid with them. Kuro have earned my respect here. I'm gonna go on a limb here and assume they actually earned the respect from a lot of us, and they deserve it. This means absolutely nothing other than a more concrete, stable future for Wuthering Waves, for Punishing Gray Raven, and for the upcoming Project Nami, which now probably has even more funding that Tencent holds a majority stake in the company. Do not let people tell you that this is bad, because it is not. Hey you, where do you think you're going? Don't you close out of this tab. I didn't give you permission to do that. Sit your ass back down. Click one of the 2 videos that are gonna be on screen in just a moment and keep watching my content. Keep enjoying my content.